Hello, my name's Rebecca. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag. I've been here for 2 months now. I filmed this once already, lost the footage, so let's do this again. Second time lucky, hopefully. I'm just going to jump right in because there are 7 questions and I don't want to be here forever rambling. So just gonna jump straight. So question 1 is, why did you start this channel? I'm gonna have to be basic and give the answer that everybody else gives, and it's just that I don't have a lot of people in my real life that read as much as me, and so I don't really have anyone to talk about books with, and so here I am. I know there's nobody really here at the moment, but just being able to talk about books and talk about my feelings about books, and then hopefully eventually talk to other people who feel the same about those books. Yeah, that's basically essentially why I started this channel. Just books. The second question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Honestly, I don't know yet. I'd like to think some of my ideas for once I'm settled into a routine, and some of the things that I'm interested in doing in the next sort of year or so are fun and unique. Like, I'd quite like to do a couple of backlog reading or read-alongs if I eventually get a little bit of an audience, but you know, like going through an author's backlog and or back catalogue, sorry, and stuff like that. I'd really like to bring some unique perspectives to the channel, but I mean, I'm another white woman on Booktube, so I don't know if that's even possible. I do read a lot, so we read a wide range of stuff, so hopefully I can introduce people to books they've never heard before. I have an accent I don't hear very often on here, so maybe a unique perspective in where I'm from. I think so far one of the only people that I know of really, or definitely the only big booktuber I know with an accent the same as mine, is Gavin from How I Train Your Gavin. I'll link his channel down below because he's got a really funny channel. But a lot of people do TBR games. I'd quite like to make my own TBR game that would hopefully be fun and unique. But yeah, I'm still undecided really about what I can bring, which is terrible marketing for this channel, but oh well. Moving swiftly on, the third question is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? To be honest, like I kind of said when I answered the first question, just I'm excited to be talking more about books, even if it's just to myself, having discussions hopefully eventually with people about books, the kind that I don't really get to have a lot in real life because most of the people I know don't read as much as me, and hopefully to be a bit more creative. I used to be very creative, and as I've got older that's kind of fallen by the wayside, so I'd quite like to tap into my creativeness at some point, and like I said, make some more fun videos and really just let myself be free to create stuff that I ordinarily would just think, oh, that's a good idea, and then just forget about. So yeah. Question 4 is, why do you love reading? And to be honest, I don't have like a non-rambly answer for this. I like reading because it's there for every purpose. I read because I like to escape, I read to relax, I read to learn, I read to challenge myself, I read to challenge my internal biases and beliefs. I read to have fun, to laugh, to cry. Like, there's a book for everything, and I think that's why I love reading so much. I just, like, it's always there, no matter what kind of emotion you're feeling or what kind of thing you need to consume to feel better or to educate yourself or anything really. There's always a book there for you. Number 5 is what books or series got you into reading. I've actually picked a few books for this because at different points in my life where my reading habits have ebbed and flowed, different books have got me back into reading. So the first book I'm going to talk about is The Min Pins by Roald Dahl. Now this is what initially got me into reading as a really young child. We used to get this out from the library constantly and beg my mum to read this to us. The Min Pins, from what I can remember, is about a little boy who sneaks into a forest and he meets the Min Pins, which are basically like tiny people, and he goes on a bit of an adventure. This is probably for ages like, well, really young, to be honest. I'm trying to think. It's a sort of book, you know, you're read by your parents. But it's gorgeous. They've released, I actually have it somewhere, but they've released a new edition with illustrations by Quentin Blake. This is the original, illustrated by Patrick Benson. But this and books like Harry McClary and were the books that I really loved, and I remember going to get it from the library as well. So this was like the OG. This is what got me really into reading. This is one of the ones like Harry McClary that I can remember loving, and my mum can remember this as well. She always, whenever we bring up books we liked when we were little, this is always the one that she remembers. The second one I'm going to mention is A Witch Child by Celia Rees. This is another one I found at the library when I was like 11 or 12, and I was still like dipping in and out of kids' books, but I was starting to like grow out of them, I guess, and I wanted something new to read, and this is what I found. This has actually just been reissued with its sequel, which I didn't know existed until a couple of years ago, for its 20th anniversary edition. Yeah, basically this is about a girl who is the granddaughter of a witch, and it's, you know, a kind of a snapshot into her life and how she is dealing with things, because basically this is set partly in England and partly in the New World, so in America, and part of it I think is, if I remember right, is the voyage there. So yeah, it spans quite a lot of time, and I loved this when I read it. I really did. I was introduced to a lot of new issues and concepts that I'd never read before, and I just remember, like, I'll always remember this. For the longest time I could remember this book and not what it was called, and then when I found it I bought it because I had to have it, and I think I don't actually think I've ever read this copy of it, but it's great. It's like it's written like a diary basically. Loved this. I loved this. As an adult, going back to reading, like feeling comfortable reading books for younger audiences again, I really would like to get back to this at some point and read the sequel, but highly recommend this if you are a teenager, because I thought was really exciting to read. The last one I'm going to talk about is one that I again found in a library. I feel like all these books are just an ode to libraries. I actually found this one in my college library at lunch when I was just looking for somewhere to sit and read, and I was browsing the shelves, and this one is Disillusion by C.J. Sansom. I love this book. This is one of my favourite books ever. Basically, Disillusion follows Matthew Shardlake, who's a lawyer, and this is a series. This is the first book in the series. It's set during the Tudor period, during the dissolution of the Monasteries by Henry VIII. And basically in this book, Matthew is summoned by Cromwell, and Thomas Cromwell, and he is asked to go to, I think it's, yes, Scansey Monastery, because the man that Cromwell originally sent there to kind of convince the monks to dissolve the monastery voluntarily has been found beheaded in the kitchen. And so Matthew's job is to, one, continue the job of trying to convince the monks to voluntarily dissolve the monastery, and two, find out who murdered the original officer sent there. This is amazing. I did not at any point guess the twist in this. I have reread this a lot as well, and every time it still hits me. I still can't believe it. But it's just written so well that I think you can read it again and again, even though it is like a historical crime mystery thriller novel. But amazing. And the 8th book in this series just came out last year, I think. So there are 8, and some of them are a bit chunky books. If you do want to start this series and you really enjoy it, highly recommend this. So now I've spent ages talking about those. Let's move on to question 6, which is, what questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? And I think, to be honest, mostly I just like to know how you keep up the momentum and how to edit, because that's one thing I'm really terrible at. At the using my phone to edit, and I just think I'm not very good at it. So I think I'd like to know what software they use and how to do it well. But also just how to stay confident and inspired and all of that kind of stuff, because I'm still really excited about this channel, and I still have a lot of ideas and things that I'd quite like to do, and every few days I get a new idea. So I have quite a lot of video ideas just sitting there waiting to be filmed, although I don't think they're particularly new or exciting ideas yet. So I think I just like to know how you keep it up, how you build a community, how you edit, how. So the last question, question number 7, is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? And I think for me it'll be self-doubt and confidence. Especially because there's not a lot of people around, and I've been around for a couple of months. I was hoping, I'd get at least maybe one comment, I guess. But I think just keeping up the momentum and not letting myself start to doubt myself. I've had a book blog in the past, and I ended up kind of giving up on that one because I just was starting to doubt myself and starting to feel like silly, I guess, and I just lost all confidence in myself, and it fell by the wayside. But it's definitely something I'd quite like to try again, beside this channel. And yeah, I think that's going to be the most challenging thing for me personally to do, just because I'm not a very confident person anyway. Although I must have had a certain level of confidence to film myself and do this, but I've wanted to start a channel for a long time. I mean, like talking like 3 or 4 years, and I just haven't had the confidence or the self-esteem to do it. So I think now that I'm finally doing it, and I've got like the wind in my sails still, but in a few months when I start to doubt myself and I start to have a bit of a wobble, I think overcoming that is probably going to be the hardest thing for me to do. Yeah. So yeah, that is the Booktube Newbie Tag all done. I'll see if I can find the original. I'm not sure it's around anymore. But if I can find the original video, I will link it below. And yes, thank you for sticking through to the end if you did. I love watching Booktube Newbie Tags, so if you've done one, let me know in the comments and I'll come and watch it. I don't know why I love the Booktube Newbie Tag so much, I just do. I was kind of dreading filming it because I had to answer questions about myself and not just talk about books, but yeah, hopefully this is the start of a beautiful beautiful new journey. But yes, I will hopefully see you guys in the next video. If you like this video, feel free to like it and subscribe if you are crazy and want to see more of my face. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.